So at Cwmcarn Primary School, our approach to professional learning and supporting our disadvantaged learners and our vulnerable young people is a really holistic approach. So we start with our professional learning plan and we get our priorities for that from our school development plan. And so really the key part in our journey has been our RADI work. So we engaged with the EAS and we became a RADI school. We joined a RADI cohort, and that was a real wide arching approach to training for staff, for governors, for children. And we just embraced the RADI principles. We've also been able to access through RADI some of the Challenging Education Differently materials, and they've got so many modules and videos and webinars. And I think the thing we like about that is we can pick out the relevant parts that tie in with our school development plan. So, for example, where attendance is on our school development plan, there's modules we can access in professional learning, or staff can access in their own time things that are of particular interest. We've also worked really hard to engage with the EAS's toolkit, the Teaching and Learning Toolkit. Again, we found that to be so helpful to us because we can pick and choose the things that we want to. So we're having a real push at the moment for our disadvantaged learners in regards to oracy and speaking and listening. So we've been able to access those modules as well. Also, as part of our plan, we wanted to look at the impact of poverty on the school day. So we've done some training on that. And I would say another key part for us has been engaging with the local authority. So we take on board the local authority professional learning in relation to our disadvantaged young people. So in relation to attendance or the Healthy Schools Network or eco schools. So it's really quite wide ranging, and we're constantly trying to look at what other schools are doing, read the Estin best practice and bring it all together to think about what works and what's going to fit for Cwmcarn Primary. The training that we've undertaken has had a real influence on our whole school strategic approach. So now in everything that we're doing, whether that's writing the school development plan, whether it's performance management, whether it's area of learning and experience leads plans, everything, we're constantly thinking about equity and how that will impact upon our vulnerable learners and how we can overemphasize the opportunities for them. So for example, in terms of our spending, we've thought really carefully about our development grants. We've changed our staffing structure to incorporate a wellbeing and attendance lead. We think really carefully about how we spend our cluster grants, our CLAR grants, to ensure that those vulnerable children have all the resources and equipment they need. We've also really thought carefully about all our approaches to the curriculum. So with our wellbeing lead within the school, our curriculum lead, thinking about taking on as much of that training as we can in terms of the mental health and wellbeing framework. So it's really been a holistic approach. The governors have had real strong training on how to challenge in governing body meetings. So whenever I'm presenting to the governors in terms of the head teacher's report, they've got those questions to ask. What is the impact on vulnerable learners? Are they making progress? What data can you show us? What opportunities have they had? So I just think it's about standing back, thinking about those really important questions. And we've also, I think we've really moved when we talk about vulnerable learners in looking at the groups we talk about. So historically for us, it was very much about the free school meal children. But now we're also thinking about those families in work in poverty, those other groups, our parents where maybe they're single parent families, are looked after children. So it's really been quite a shift for us. So some of the things that we've done that have had the greatest impact, I'd say, is just making our school much more of a community-focused school. So it's been that opening of the doors to the wider community to make the school feel like an exciting place to be. So some of the ideas I think that have had the most impact, we've started offering mums and toddlers groups with sensory play at an affordable price. So we're seeing families come into the school that we haven't seen previously. I think we've worked really well with local community groups, so we're supporting community warm spaces, we're visiting some other groups, and also we've increased hugely our offer to parents in terms of family learning. So we've got a new community kitchen that we had through a successful bid with the local authority, and we're seeing some families that previously hadn't come into school excited to come in and work with the Multiply project, and they're going to be able to move on to cooking and those kind of opportunities. So those are some of the newer things that we've done alongside the food boxes and the uniform offers that have really made a difference here. And then the other thing that I'd say we've really changed is our approach to curriculum planning. So we really think carefully now about how many wonderful opportunities we can give the children in school that they may not have had at home. So there's such a wider variety of people coming into school now, artists, musicians, singers, lots of people from the community, so that we can make sure that the curriculum is so rich that the children can use those experiences as part of their learning journey. The impact of all the things that we've done here at Cwmcarn has just been amazing to see. We're so proud of the journey that we've been on. We've seen real huge improvements in attendance. So we're back with our attendance now where we were pre-pandemic. And we know from talking to parents that's because they feel that school is more approachable, more welcoming, because they're spending more time in school, evaluating the importance of school. We've also seen real progress in terms of the progress that the pupils are making. So because we've had that focus now on those vulnerable learners, and it's relentless and it's rigorous, we're discussing them one by one, at least every term, we're starting to see that those children are really moving forwards with the various interventions that we can offer. We know that this is always going to be a challenge for us with such a high proportion of free school meal children. But I think if we keep this work, as we call it, our golden thread, similar to Raddy, in everything that we do, that will help us to move forward. And one of the things we'd like to move on to that we've learned from other schools is having a look at the Heart of the Community Award and see now if we can carry on with our work and look at other ways of improving our offer to our families and carers.